Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Janelle Slade. With a lot of sickness spreading across the city, state, country, and world tonight, the most simple action you can take to stay healthy.
And whether you sing happy birthday or the alphabet, that 20 seconds washing your hands correctly could help save lives.
With the potential for disease, health experts are recommending what our mothers taught us.
Q2's David J. checked in at Riverstone Health today to remind everyone to wash your hands.
Warm running water. You want to wet your hands. Get some sort of soap on your hands. It doesn't have to be antibacterial soap. Any kind of soap is acceptable. And then you really want to take a while, good 20 seconds. Make sure you're getting the backs of the hands all the way up to the wrists, the nail beds, the knuckles.
Marilyn Tapia, Riverstone Health's Director of Environmental Health, often teaches those in the food industry how to wash their hands. And to illustrate how well it works, she uses glow powder.
It's to simulate the presence of germs or other kind of organisms that might be on my hands. This glows under black light. So a lot of people, when they wash their hands, they just turn on the water, maybe they get a little soap, they rub them, they call it good to go. Then they might even just wipe their hands on their clothing. Right down in the palm, there's still some in there, up here on the wrist.
She then showed her hands after washing for 20 seconds.
A lot less of that fluorescent powder on my hands now. You want to turn off the faucet either with your elbow or use the paper towel.
Another recommendation from Marilyn: if you're in a public restroom, after you wash and dry your hands, use the towel to open the door.
About 30% of people are said to not wash their hands after they use the bathroom, so there's been a lot of dirty hands on that door handle. And then no matter what you touch, if you're washing your hands, you're removing the germs and the debris from your hands.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
30%
Wow.
don't wash
That's kind of
their
surprising.
hands. Wow.
That high.
Marilyn Tapia also says cell phones pick up a lot of germs.
She recommends cleaning your phone with something safe, such as what you might use to clean your eyeglasses with.
Meanwhile, here in Montana, influenza has claimed 3 more lives, bringing the total to 9 deaths across the state since October.
1,200 new cases are confirmed, which represents the most cases in a week since flu season began. That number brings the season total to more than 8,500, with 361 patients hospitalized.
Yellowstone County saw 110 new cases, bringing the county total to more than 800, still second to Gallatin County, that's seen more than 1,400.
Well, the filing deadline for candidates in Montana's elections is on Monday, and there's one candidate everyone is waiting on, Governor Steve Bullock. With less than 72 hours until the filing deadline, MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison gives us the latest on this still shifting political landscape.
Earlier this week, multiple sources told MTN News that Governor Bullock plans a last-minute entry into the U.S. Senate race to challenge Republican incumbent Steve Daines. But so far, the governor or those close to him aren't saying anything publicly about his actual plans. In fact, the only thing Bullock cared to talk about Friday was basketball, as he spent his day in Missoula watching his daughter Caroline play for Helena High in a divisional playoff game. Bullock's entry into the Senate contest would make it one of the top races in the country, a possible party flip, as Democrats try to regain control of the U.S. Senate. But Bullock said as late as last week that he's not running, and there's no public confirmation that he's changed his mind. We also have 4 other Democrats who have already filed as candidates in the race, but none is well known to voters. There's Helena Mayor Wilmot Collins, Bozeman physicist Michael Knowles, Loma rancher and engineer John Muse, and health policy expert Cora Newman, also of Bozeman. And late this week, 2 other candidates also have entered the Senate contest, or say they're entering the race. Libertarian Eric Fulton of Whitefish and Green Party candidate Wendy Frederickson. Waiting in the wings, of course, is Senator Daines, who's prepping for whoever his opponent may be. Daines has a Republican primary opponent, political unknown Dan Larson of Stevensville. But, like us, the senator is waiting to see if another opponent emerges on Monday. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
And candidate filing for Montana's election will close at 5 p.m. Monday.
Well, the second and likely final Democrat has filed as a candidate in Montana's open U.S. House race. Tom Winter, a state representative from Missoula, filed electronically from his home last night. Winter will face off in the primary election against fellow Democrat Kathleen Williams, who was the nominee for the same seat in 2018. Now, Winter says he's the only candidate in the race to release a comprehensive set of policy proposals, including universal child care and health care for all. The primary election is less than 3 months away on June 2nd.
U.S. District Court hearing on the Keystone XL pipeline regarding federal approval for that pipeline project. Those opposed to the pipeline's construction gathered in front of the courthouse in Great Falls for a peaceful protest before the hearings began. The rally featured Fort Peck community members, environmentalists, and others. After spending about an hour outside, they headed into the courthouse for the hearing. Sierra Club chapter director Summer Nelson said she hoped today's protest would generate awareness for her cause.
We really wanted to let people know that there are still thousands of people in Montana who are concerned about this and paying attention and just trying to hold the government accountable in this process and protect water, land, communities, and climate.
No decision was reached during today's hearing.
Well, on the surface, it sounds like punishment, but for some Central High kids, it's the highlight of the year. Art students locked into their school for 24 hours with the task of creating a piece of art. Well, last night, those students had their own red carpet event to display their work and mingle with other artists and potential buyers. Clark Martin opened his gallery for the event, including an auction, all for a good cause.
I want them to take home the idea that we believe in them and that they are supported and that no matter what they have created over the last 24 hours when they were doing this event, it is absolutely worthy of being shown in a gallery.
And be sure to watch the 10 o'clock news tonight for the full story of that 24-hour art lockdown challenge.
It's kind of cool.
Fun.
Well, there's more news from across our state on the MTN 9 o'clock news. 2 gyms collapsed a year ago at Montana State. Check out the progress being made. Join me tonight at 9 on the CW.
But first, on tonight's 5:30 news, we'll show you how crucial it is to have 24/7 health care close to home to save the lives of our smallest patients. And you can help.
Plus, in sports, semifinal Friday on your divisional basketball court. Scott will show us which teams punch state tournament tickets.
And coming up in weather, we got up to 70 degrees today, and we could do it again tomorrow. But how long can this stuff last? We'll have the answer coming up in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.